Patrick, of course, the former Massachusetts governor. So, Governor, you're out with this op-ed. It's in the Boston Globe on the sacred right to vote, and you write this, I quote, "Undercutting the right to vote has been a strategy of Republicans for decades." Excuse me. You go on to list the reasons why, from gerrymandering to limiting voting hours to gutting the Voting Rights Act, and you say this, again, another quote, "All of it and more has been core to Republican pathways to power. When you add it up, it's as if the GOP has decided it can't win a fair fight." Is this what it's really about?
Well, you'd have to ask them, but that's sure what it looks like from where I sit. You know, I'm a loyal and faithful Democrat, but I describe myself as a Democrat who doesn't think you have to hate Republicans to be a good Democrat. I think we ought to have and be able to have a contest of ideas. I'm not naive. I understand the sharp elbows that go with politics. I understand the self-interest that is a part of politics, but I don't think it ought to extend to the ballot box. I think, you know, the trading, the horse trading and so forth. I understand all that to get legislation passed, but not on a fundamental question about what kind of country we are. And I think that's really the question here. I mean, I have heard Republicans cry foul over Democrats pushing reforms of the Voting Rights Act, closing these gaps opened up by the Supreme Court and bad behavior in the states, crying foul that it's some kind of power grab. And yet that's precisely what was motivating these 19 states and counting to obstruct the vote and to put in the powers of Republican partisans to throw out outcomes they don't like. So, Don, I guess the question I'm asking myself is not just, you know, what are Senators Sinema and Manchin going to do, but what is Senator Collins going to do? What is Senator Romney going to do? When does patriotism actually call the members to see beyond their party and make a decision about what is best for everybody?
Well, Senator Romney is saying that he doesn't want to put voting in the hands of in the hands of the federal government. It should be, it shouldn't be taken, it should not be taken away from the states. But, you know, I had someone on, I'll have someone on earlier who doesn't necessarily agree with that, is the Attorney General from Pennsylvania. He's going to talk to us about that in just a little bit.
Well, that's not even what the Constitution says, as you know, and I'm sure your guest does as well. It's another one of these things you hear Republicans hide behind. But the federal government has had to step in the past in situations very like this, when state decided a minority of actors in the state decided to use their minority power to keep power from being shared with everybody else.
Before I let you go,
and that's all.
I want to ask you about this video I played. It was from 1963 when Dr. King said that he was against the filibuster because he believed a minority of misguided senators, that's kind of what we're talking about now, would use the filibuster to keep the majority of people from voting. Why are we still dealing with this in 2022? Again, he said that in 1963, Governor.
Yeah. I mean, Don, why are we still fussing about this? Look, the filibuster doesn't have to be eliminated. They set it aside when they want to. They did it just a couple weeks ago, as you know, to raise the debt ceiling. They do it every time on budget questions. I think they did it recently when the defense authorization bill came up. They do it when they want to. This ought to be a time when folks feel compelled to do so.
Governor Deval Patrick, I really enjoyed having you on. I always do, but this was a